Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather. I've got so much great stuff to show you today. I'm really excited about all the wallets in the video, and we also have this Rough Out Dublin to show you on our Fat Herbie. Let's take a little preview of some of the other stuff in the video today. I have a new raw denim Tony the Ant, an intense blue shell cordovan Bugs Moran, a natural shell cordovan Frank the Enforcer, a black marbled shell cordovan Frank the Enforcer, a black reverse shell cordovan Frank the Enforcer, black shell cordovan Bugs Moran with a custom reverse interior, color 8 shell cordovan Tony the Ant with a reverse interior, Amaretto shell cordovan Tony the Ant, color 8 marbled shell cordovan with a custom alternating reverse and marbled interior, an English tan Dublin Johnny the Fox, a tumbled natural shell cordovan Bugs Moran, and a natural shell cordovan Fat Herbie. Alright, there's several incredible wallets to show you in the video today. A lot of these are semi-custom, and all of them are shipping out today, so I can't wait for you guys to have these. I'm really excited about them, including this Rough Out Dublin. We were trying some new stuff here, and I was really happy with how this one turned out. So this is black Dublin, and we flipped it backwards to show the unintended side. The flesh side of the leather, also known as the rough out, or suede out, some people say. But I thought this Dublin turned out really nicely on the unintended side. And the idea was, on this rough out leather, we noticed that the sides of leather, each of them get stamped one time with a measuring machine stamp from Horween Leather. So it has the square footage of the area of the side of leather that we picked up, but it also has this really cool Horween USA branded onto the back of it. And this Horween USA was put there because there was some imposter leather being put on into the world. People claiming it was Horween leather. So Horween had to include this Horween USA stamp to the back of each side. So we get a chance to show that stamp off here, which some people are really into. A few people have requested to get wallets with that stamping on it, but I think the reverse side of the black is super cool. It's a little bit more open and coarse than the regular black Dublin that you can see in the center here, and this one is a little bit more tumbled too for this particular piece. I put this up on the one-off page this morning, and I think it's already sold out, but I'm really happy with how this one turned out. We're just trying new stuff every day here in the shop, and just really exciting to sort of play with it, come up with new ideas, especially because we have all this brand new Horween shell cordovan. And one of those new shell cordovan pieces is the raw denim. So in yesterday's video, I did a proper introduction of the raw denim shell cordovan. The raw shell cordovan is the earliest you can call a piece of cordovan cordovan. It's the most raw and unfinished state that the cordovan is. And Horween has applied a denim stain to that rod, and this is the result on a Tony the Ant. So I really like this custom order here. I had a customer that was interested in something special, and they said, surprise me. So I'm surprising him with this raw denim Tony the Ant, and I really, really like how this turned out. I don't have any more raw denim shell left, but I'm hoping to get more soon because the result of this is just really spectacular. I like how it's not as bright and shiny as normal shell cordovan is, just a little something different. But also I know from my experience wearing the raw shell that the way it develops patina is better than anything. It's just the most dramatic patina possible. So I really hope this customer keeps me in the loop with how this one ages, and I can't wait for you to have it. Let me do a little comparison here with the Bugs Moran in intense blue shell cordovan. So you can see the normal shell, this intense blue, is much more of a mirror-like shine to it when you compare it to the raw denim that I have on the right here. You can see the raw has a little bit of sheen to it, but not even close to the mirror-like shine of a normal piece of shell. And looking at the colors, they're pretty similar too. I think that the raw denim is a little bit more vibrant and aqua blue when compared to the intense blue. So I thought that would be valuable for you to see as well. On this Bugs Moran, we have a special reverse intense blue interior, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is about the most even color that I've seen on one of our reverse interiors, and I think it turned out really nicely. Up next, this is a natural shell cordovan, Frank the Enforcer, and check out the beautiful color in this natural shell. It has a really cool color shift to it on this one that you can see, where sometimes at certain angles it's a little darker and other angles it's a little lighter. I just find that completely fascinating. This Frank the Enforcer has a custom modification on it, and it has been hand stitched. So we do charge a little bit more for the hand stitching. It gives you a thicker thread look. But oftentimes I suggest people use the machine stitch because I think it's a little bit more of a cleaner, refined look. Here's another semi-custom Frank the Enforcer, and this is a black marbled shell cordovan piece on our Frank the Enforcer. Check out how awesome that is. This is a semi-custom one because we've not included, by request, the Ashland logo on the front. So you get this really clean, minimalist look on the front. Maybe perhaps a better chance to show off some of this really interesting marbling that's happening on this guy. That is a really cool piece of marbled shell on the front and on the back. And one more Frank the Enforcer to show you. This is a black reverse Frank the Enforcer. And I know I say black and it looks green, but the reverse sides of the black shell cordovan are this greenish tan color, sometimes a little bit more of like an aqua green or a forest green. This one is really cool. And what I like about the reverse shell cordovan is it ages very nicely. It sort of has this similar aesthetic for how the raw shell cordovan wears in, where it gets a little darker, a little bit more golden in color, but it also develops this wet look. It sort of develops its own little sheen over the surface that's just very nice just with normal use. All right, check out this custom Bugs Moran. This one has more of that black reverse on the inside, and I like this idea a lot. And we've seen this a few times from our customers that have very good taste, where we're alternating the reverse and the black shell on the insides of these wallets. I do like how the reverse shell cordovan wears in on the insides of wallets. And with this combo, you get a little bit of both, and I think that's super cool. On the outside here, a beautiful piece of black shell cordovan. I was admiring this one before I turn the camera on here because look at just how smooth that shell is. What a nice piece of black shell on the exterior of this Bugs Moran. And here's a Tony the Ant in the classic color number 8 shell cordovan. Color 8 is that dark brown burgundy color, and this is again another really nice piece of shell cordovan here. On the inside of this guy we have more reverse shell cordovan, but this is the color 8 reverse. And oftentimes we see the color 8 with these sorts of colors. It's sort of an orangey tan or a little bit of a reddish tan. And the cool thing about all of the reverse cordovan is we get to not only see the Horween ink stamp on the reverse side, but we also get to see these random dye marks. And no two are alike, and I think that's the most fun about it. Each of these wallets with a reverse interior, you're never going to find another one just like it. Here's another beautiful Tony the Ant, and this one happens to be in my favorite shell cordovan color, the Amaretto shell cordovan. And the Amaretto has that same sort of color shift idea that just blows me away. At some angles it's a little darker, like there. Maybe you'd call it more of like a dark caramel, a little orangey yellow to it, a little more red. But when I tilt it slowly, you can see the color shift to more of this vibrant orange. And I find both of those colors to be very pleasant. And I like the combination of both. So there's something about the Amaretto shell that's just completely magical to me. Check out the really clean interior of this one as well with that Horween ink stamp just prominently in the center. There's a lot of really nice Tony the Ants today. Check out this color 8 marbled shell cordovan Tony the Ant. And this one has an additional bill slot divider. And that is a special request. We do that for a little bit of an upcharge because it is more leather. Oftentimes, I like to suggest thinner horsehide leathers for those bill slot dividers because sometimes these wallets can bulk up quite a bit with this many layers of leather. So we try to keep it thinned down for any bill slot dividers that we're happy to do for you. Just send us an email. But the color 8 marbled shell on this is out of this world. And I like this sort of variant where we go from dark to light sort of immediately. I like that very dramatic contrast in the marble shells. I am the minority opinion on that, I believe. I think people like a little bit more of a subtle contrast like you see on the right side on this card holder. A little less of an aggressive contrast like on the back. I think people are more into this more mild version. The interior of this is also custom. So this customer has chose something very smart and awesome looking. On the left, we have a Color 8 reverse on top of a Color 8 marbled, and that looks great. And on the right, it's the opposite of that. It's the Color 8 marbled on top of the Color 8 reverse. So this is a really cool semi-custom Tony the Ant. Up next, we have a best-selling item to show you. This is an English Tan Dublin Johnny the Fox. I love the Dublin. I think I say that in every video, so maybe you're getting sick of me saying it. But I just love the natural character of this leather, and I like the color on the English Tan. Even the black Dublin, it's the best black leather that I've found. So it's just a really great naturally finished leather. There's a great feel. It ages nicely. I think there's nothing to hate about the English Tan Dublin. It's just remarkably nice. And speaking of remarkably nice, this is another new shell cordovan option. And this is something that Skip Horween has been playing with for a couple years. This is a leather called Tumbled Shell Cordovan. And this is in the natural color, so it's the lightest you'll ever see it. It kind of reminds me of the raw shell cordovan. However, this one is pebbled up and textured. So it has that really random and unique texture to the back. It appears textured, but it also feels like peaks and valleys. You can feel all that texture in there. Check out the inside of this one though. A little bit more tight pebble pattern on the left, a little bit more coarse on the right. I think this leather is really cool. We have a little bit of this left, and I believe we have maybe 2 of the Tumbled Natural Shell Cordovan Johnny the Foxes up on our website. So if you're into this, I strongly suggest it because I think this leather is totally unique and it's going to age very, very nicely. I expect this one to darken and develop a lot more of a shiny, bright luster just with normal use. And the last item that I want to show you today, this is another shell cordovan piece that's going to age incredibly. This is a natural shell cordovan Fat Herbie. And this is the wallet that sort of started the whole company. The Fat Herbie was our first wallet style. And our first orders and the first ones that we made were in the natural shell. And look how nice that shell is. Really bright, shiny luster, very much mirror-like finish. And this one has that color shift I've been talking about where we see it go a little bit darker at this angle and a lot lighter at other angles. That is really cool. These age very well, and if you want to see how this looks after 1,000 days, on the homepage of our website I have a photo up of one of these unused and then one after 1,000 days. And the patina that accumulates on this is just super, super nice. The other thing I noticed about this particular Fat Herbie, and this is also random, but on the interior right card slot, there's these very interesting natural bits of character in the shell. And I love all that. I wish I could get like custom order them so it looks like that. They're almost like little tiger stripes in there. But that's all natural and random. I can't get them to make it. They don't know how to do that. You know, it's just a natural thing that happens in nature. So when I get a chance to cut those, I just get really excited. This is one of my favorite Fat Herbies here for maybe nostalgic reasons, but also just a really remarkable piece. So thanks for checking out all the great stuff today. I wanted to give you one final look here at the Rough Out Dublin, which I'm pretty excited by. I'd like to try some more versions of this in the future. And this one is a little bit more tumbled and creased on the back. We're trying to make it look a little bit more rough, show off that Horween measuring machine stamp. It's a really cool look at a brand new idea here. So let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed all the wallets today. Until next time, have a good one.